The night before my wedding, my fiancé's childhood sweetheart, accidentally, or maybe not so accidentally, ran me over, leaving me bleeding out. My best friend, Kiki, called, but my fiancé, Zach, hung up. He left only one text. "Rhonda has a cold, I can't leave her." Kiki then called her boyfriend, a mega-famous celebrity with tons of connections. He said, "Rhonda's sick. I need to be with her." After a night in the ER, Kiki and I sat in my hospital room, looked at each other, and said the same thing at once. "I'm not marrying him." Didn't expect the men to lose their minds when they got our cancellation notices. A week later, Zach finally called. His voice wasn't calm, he was furious. "Chloe, what the hell is wrong with you? Both families plan the date and the venue, and you just cancel like that. What are you trying to pull?" When I tried to answer, he cut me off with a storm of accusations. "I've told you again and again, Rhonda's health is fragile. A simple cold could turn serious. I have to protect her. How can you be so jealous, so cruel?" Cruel, the word made me laugh bitterly. That night, I had been alone finishing wedding plans. On my way home, a truck sped at me and knocked me down. Before I passed out, I called Zach twice, but all I got was the busy signal. By the time I lost consciousness, my blood-smeared phone lit up with his text. "What? Tell me quickly." Then another. "Are you sick? Why are you disturbing me while I'm comforting Rhonda? Don't you know how fragile she is? Even when I woke up in the hospital, Zach was still blaming me." That's when Kiki stormed in, grabbed my phone, and shouted, "Zach, are you insane? Chloe was hit by a car last night. The driver ran her over twice on purpose. If she hadn't been rushed to the hospital, she'd be dead. Can't you tell the difference between a cold and a car crash?" Zach just laughed coldly. "Kiki, stop lying. You're talking to a doctor. Do you think I'm stupid?" Then he hung up. Kiki's fists shook with anger, her knuckles white around my phone. Before I could calm her, her own phone rang. It was her fiancé, Ethan, who also happened to be Zach's best friend. "Kiki, what are you doing?" Because of your jealousy and nonsense, Rhonda got so upset she almost relapsed. If Zach and I hadn't been there, who knows what would have happened? A life is on the line here. My family won't let someone like you marry into it, so whether you stay engaged or not is up to you. Before Kiki could even curse him out, Ethan blocked her number. She stared at her phone, shaking with rage. "I'll be damned," she muttered. I squeezed Kiki's hand. "Don't be angry, Kiki. They're not worth it." She looked at the wires and monitors hooked up to me and burst into tears. "Chloe, are you still in pain?" I shook my head with a weak smile. The pain had stopped the moment Zach hung up. To distract ourselves, Kiki turned on a reality show. We shared popcorn and mocked the scenes. "He's so ugly, definitely the clown of the cast." "That's so fake, it's clearly scripted." Our laughter faded when Ethan's face appeared on screen. Kiki's smile disappeared, and she muttered about bad luck, reaching for the remote. Still, Ethan's voice filled the room during a sentimental part of the show. Looking into the camera with soulful eyes, he said, "My biggest regret is not confessing to the girl I loved back then." The cast teased him for details. Kiki's grip on my arm tightened. I patted her comfortingly, though my heart ached for her. Ethan had never gone public with their relationship. He claimed it would damage his image and career, even though acting was only his hobby and his family was wealthy. Whenever Kiki brought it up, he accused her of being selfish and unsupportive. He ignored the fact that she managed his PR, fought his bad press, and worked nonstop to boost his reputation. Kiki once told me she was willing to sacrifice anything to help him achieve his dream. But in Ethan's eyes, her devotion was nothing more than jealousy and control. To him, only Rhonda, his and Zach's childhood friend, truly understood him. Kiki forced a smile under my worried gaze. "It's fine, Chloe, we're calling off the weddings anyway. Once we tell our parents, we'll finally be free." I nodded, though tears burned my eyes. That evening, Zach called again. His tone was sharp, almost scolding. "Chloe, why are you acting so unreasonable? Rhonda only had a cold, I was just helping her. Why do you always think the worst? You didn't even show up to the engagement dinner because of this. Both families are waiting for you. Don't make me come drag you." The past, his coldness would have crushed me. Now it only made me sigh. "Zach," I said quietly, "since I've already called off the wedding, there's no reason for me to go." Words lit his anger again. "Do you even hear yourself? Chloe, I never thought you could be this difficult. I'm trying to fix things and you just make it worse. Everyone's waiting, you're humiliating both families. Tell me where you are, I'm coming to get you. I looked down at my hospital gown, exhaustion washing over me. I'm at St. Anne's Hospital. Come if you want. Was silence, then his cold laugh. Really, Chloe? That's the best lie you can come up with. You just want me to beg, don't you? I closed my eyes, a bitter smile tugging at my lips. Deep down, I already knew how this would end. No matter what I went through, Rhonda would always come first. And yet, some foolish part of me still clung to hope. A wave of nausea hit, and I leaned over to vomit. Zach didn't notice. His voice was still hard, accusing. Stop dragging Ethan's fiancé into this. They were supposed to meet our parents to finalize their wedding date, but now they can't because of you. You can't manage your own relationship, and you're ruining others. What's next? Are you going to hurt yourself again just to manipulate me? Yes, in his eyes, no matter what happened, I was always faking, always scheming. Last year at a party, Rhonda slipped allergens into my food. I nearly died from the fever. Even then, Zach stood over me cold and detached, saying, Chloe, it's disgusting how you lie to people. Don't you just want to marry into the Zhao family? You tricked my parents into this engagement. Why are you still playing games? Once his words would have broken me. Now they only left me empty. Zach, I said calmly, I'm done. I'll explain everything to your parents when I recover, but I won't be going to that party. I hung up, but Zach still came, and he wasn't alone. The moment he stepped into my hospital room, his face twisted into a frown. And behind him, smiling faintly, was Rhonda. Rhonda clung tightly to Zach's arm, her eyes flashing with possessiveness before softening into fake sympathy. What happened to Chloe? Oh no, I wasn't feeling well that day, so Zach came to see me. Don't be upset with him, Chloe. Both families are waiting at the hotel. It's so embarrassing for them. Before she could finish her little performance, Zach cut in. His gaze toward Rhonda was full of adoration. Rhonda, you don't need to explain anything to her. Chloe, you're the one going too far. Do you think this act will make me cave? You owe Rhonda an apology. You owe both families an apology. This is your last chance. If you don't listen, then forget about marrying into the Zhao family. I let out a cold laugh. Zach, we're finished. Get out of my room, both you and your girlfriend. The moment I called Rhonda his girlfriend, Zach exploded. His hand swung hard and a sharp slap landed on my cheek. My head snapped to the side. The metallic taste of blood filled my mouth and my ears rang. Rhonda gasped, clutching Zach's wrist. Zach, how could you? Even if Chloe was faking, it's only because you've ignored her feelings. Didn't we agree we'd talk to her calmly? Her gentle tone soothed him, but his eyes stayed full of disgust when they landed on me. Chloe, why can't you be more like Rhonda? While you waste your time with jealousy, she's thoughtful enough to defend you. You faked being sick just to frame her. Don't you feel ashamed? I wiped the blood from my lips and looked straight at him. Zach, if you really want proof, all you need to do is check my medical records or ask the nurses. Are you so blind or just so brainless that you can't tell the truth? He sneered. Of course I know what you're like. You even hired people to play along in this show. Honestly, Chloe, your acting's impressive. Door opened then, and the doctor stepped in. Zach, what are you doing here? He asked in surprise. Zach froze. The doctor glanced between the three of us, then nodded knowingly. Oh, so you and your girlfriend are visiting Ms. Joe? Poor thing, she was run over twice before we brought her in. Internal bleeding, broken bones. If she hadn't arrived in time, she wouldn't be here now. We worked all night just to stabilize her. Zach's eyes widened in shock, turning slowly toward me. Chloe, you really. The doctor didn't let him finish. Since you're here, Zach, can you look over the treatment plan? Ms. Joe needs long-term rest and rehab. Otherwise, her life could be affected. Zach's fists tightened at his sides. Sensing his shift, Rhonda quickly grabbed his arm. Zach, let's talk to the doctor together. We should show Chloe we care. Zach didn't move. His eyes stayed locked on me. Chloe, is what you said really true? I ignored him and turned to the doctor. My face hurts. Could you check it? The doctor leaned closer, gasping. Who hit a patient? Outrageous. Ms. Joe, I'll get a nurse to bring you ice packs immediately. Zach's jaw tightened, but my point was made. He pulled away from Rhonda, his voice shaky. Chloe, was it really a car accident? Just then, the door burst open. Kiki had returned from shopping, arms full of bags. Her temper was already fiery, but seeing Zach and Rhonda in my room lit her fuse instantly. "You two scum. Haven't you done enough to Chloe already?" She hurled her grocery bag at Zach. "Get out, both of you, now." Rhonda stepped forward, unwilling to be humiliated. "Kiki, I know you care about Chloe, but you can't treat Zach like this. Chloe didn't show up at the party, so we came to check on her, out of concern." Then, with fake tears glistening, she added, "Besides, Chloe must have hurt herself on purpose to upset Zach. If you're angry, I'll kneel and apologize. Just calm down." She lowered herself as if to kneel, but Zach didn't move to stop her. Rhonda froze, shocked, and looked up at him, only to see his eyes fixed on something that had fallen from Kiki's grocery bag. A packet of gummy candies. I had always looked after Zach, making sure he ate when he skipped meals. I used to tuck candies into his briefcase. When I once told him they were my comfort as a sickly child, candies that meant love and care, he'd only scoffed. Later, when I cut my finger, he handed me one grudgingly, and I'd foolishly believed he'd begun to understand me. But it was only a fantasy. Zach remembered Rhonda's birthday, her favorite restaurants, even which earrings matched her dress. But he couldn't remember that I, the girl who had always feared pain, would never harm myself just to play games. Rhonda tugged at his arm, breaking his trance. "Zach, Kiki says I need to kneel for forgiveness." She forced a weak smile, then bent slightly. "I'm sorry, Chloe. It's all my fault. I'll kneel and apologize. Please don't be mad." Zach pulled her up, his voice steady now. "No need. Chloe, focus on recovering. I'll postpone the wedding. When you're better, we'll get married." Then, as if it were a final decision, he added, "Tomorrow, I'll take leave and stay by your side until you're discharged." Expressions shifted. Rhonda's mask cracked. She tugged urgently at his sleeve. "Zach, you're up for promotion. If you take leave now, people will think the wrong thing. Chloe's just throwing a tantrum, it'll pass. If you're really worried, you can hire nurses." Kiki immediately stepped in front of me like a shield. Kiki snapped, "Who do you think you are? Chloe doesn't need you. The best thing you can do is leave." Zach frowned, which I knew meant he was angry. But instead of shouting, he lowered his voice, trying to sound gentle. "Chloe, don't be upset. I'm a doctor. I know how to help you recover. If you're still unhappy, I apologize. I only want what's best for you, right?" From behind Kiki's protective arm, I looked at Zach. His face felt like that of a stranger. Even when apologizing, he still acted superior, as if he had never been wrong. He didn't realize the unanswered phone call hurt me more than being hit by the truck. I gently pushed Kiki's arm aside and said coldly, "Zach, wake up. It's over. I don't need your care or your fake kindness. When I needed you most, you weren't there. I don't need your apologies now." Zach wasn't used to me speaking to him like this. He had always assumed I would bend to him. His eyes flashed with anger, but he forced it down. "Chloe, what do you want from me? Do I have to kneel to satisfy you?" Before, his words would have broken my heart. But now I felt nothing. Still, Zach didn't give up. Every day he came to my room at the same time, bringing tea and water. Kiki tried to stop him, even locking the door, but eventually she had no time to keep watch. Ethan was also clinging to her. When she finally sent him a breakup notice, he thought it was just a bluff. He waited a week, but when Kiki called movers to take her things, Ethan lost control and confronted her. The paparazzi caught everything. Kiki's fury went viral. She stood there, pointing at him, shouting, "Ethan, you think your fame matters? I've managed your data, your fans, your lines. If we're splitting assets, your fans owe me 80%. You're just a vase. I had to coach you every step. You wouldn't even be here without me." She tore into him, exposing all the truths behind his career. Watching the video, I laughed at her courage, but the laughter quickly faded, leaving only emptiness. Kiki had once dreamed of entering the entertainment world, but her family forced her into Ethan's orbit instead. She thought he was free, rebellious, a light to follow. But that light turned out to be nothing more than a cheap bulb. Later, as I was watching the video on my tablet, Zach walked in, snatched it from me, and scolded, "You're a patient, you need rest, not screens." I looked at his back and said, "Zach, let's talk." He pretended not to hear, tucking the blanket around me. I threw it on the floor. "Ignoring me won't work. I want to talk." Zach finally looked at me, face tight. "Chloe, I can't accept a breakup. I'll take care of you, but I won't let you go." I stared at him coldly. "Do you know I called you twice the day of the accident and you ignored me? Whatever you do now only reminds me that while I was lying on the ground, you were with Rhonda." Zach's arms stiffened. Regret flickered in his eyes. Chloe, Rhonda, and I grew up together. I see her as a sister. Taking care of her is a habit. That day, she really wasn't well. When wasn't she unwell? I asked slowly, looking straight at him. On my birthday, she claimed she was sick. You left me alone with my friends who mocked me. When I was in the hospital, she said her house was dusty, and you ran to her, leaving me struggling to even reach the bathroom. Are countless examples, Zach. Can you name one time Rhonda was healthy enough not to disrupt our lives? He fell silent, head bowed. For a moment I felt satisfied, but it was quickly replaced by despair. How had I endured this? How had I kept convincing myself it was fine? Oh, wait, I added with a bitter laugh. She was healthiest when she was interfering in our fights. Tell me, Zach, are you blind to all of this on purpose? His lips trembled, but before he could answer, his phone rang. Rhonda's special ringtone. He hesitated, then declined it, but she called again. Chloe, he whispered. What if something's wrong with her? I turned away coldly. Rhonda's fragile voice came through. Zach, can you come? My heart hurts. It's beating so fast. I feel like I'll die. Ethan won't answer. My parents aren't here. I'm all alone. Please. I rolled my eyes. This was her routine. But then Zach shocked me. He said firmly, Rhonda, I'm with Chloe. If you're really sick, call 911. Don't call me again. Then he hung up. He turned to me quickly, desperate for approval. Chloe, see, I chose you. I won't leave again. Please just recover. The past, I would have been overjoyed. Now his words only made me smile coldly. You always knew how to reassure me, Zach. You just never bothered to try. I turned away. If you don't leave, I'll call security. The mirror, I saw his joy vanish. His voice trembled. Chloe, I've taken such good care of you, and you still won't forgive me. I know I was wrong, but now I see the only person I love is you. My feelings for Rhonda were just habit. I laughed through my tears. So all your neglect, all your accusations, that was your love. I handed him a medical report from my tablet. If this is love, Zach, maybe you're better off with a robot caregiver. His face went pale. He dropped to his knees, clinging to my blanket, sobbing. Chloe, please tell me this is fake. Tell me you're only trying to hurt me. Please say this report isn't true. I smiled, but it was the kind of smile filled with despair. Zach, you're not wrong. The accident, it took our child. The tablet slipped from his hands and crashed to the floor, the screen shattering. His eyes went red and he let out an animal-like scream of pain, but I stayed calm. I pressed the call button and security came to drag him away, even as he clung to me. Later, I learned the full truth. I hadn't even known I was pregnant. The baby was gone. And because of the abdominal injuries, the doctor said I would never have children again. Kiki held my hand, her eyes full of pity. It's okay, Chloe, I'll always be with you. We don't need kids, but if we want them, we can adopt. She'll call you Mom today and me Mom tomorrow. Her silly words made me laugh, though tears still rolled down my cheeks. Once I had held her hand and said, Kiki, don't be afraid, let's get married, let's face everything together. But back then, it had all been in vain. A message from Kiki lit up my phone. Chloe, I found out. Rhonda hired someone to cause the accident. I felt strangely calm hearing the truth. No wonder Rhonda kept Zach busy that night. No wonder she managed to pull Ethan away too. She had planned it all, determined to destroy me on my happiest day. And Zach, he had cut the very last thread that tied me to him. I replied. Send this to the Zhao and Fu families. They'll need the evidence more than us. Kiki answered with a simple okay emoji, then after a pause sent another message. Chloe, I'm leaving. What about you? I smiled. If you leave, I'll leave too. We had always been inseparable, whether in marriage, in heartbreak, in leaving, or in revenge. Soon after, news spread that Rhonda had lost her mind. We didn't know what Zach or Ethan did, but Rhonda ended up wandering the streets, crying that she was a sinner, scaring everyone who passed by. Eventually, she was sent to a mental hospital. The day she was admitted, Zach and Ethan came with their parents and wedding rings, hopping to apologize. But the bed was already empty. Zach drowned himself in alcohol, and during a crucial surgery, he made a mistake. He was dismissed from the hospital. Once a rising star in medicine, he locked himself away, consumed by despair. Ethan, because of Kiki's viral video, lost his popularity and had to retire from the entertainment industry. After that, he released one song. Its name was For Kiki. The song became an instant hit. Even in our quiet little county town, we could hear it. But we just kept shopping, tossing more vegetables into the cart. What bad luck, Kiki said. I nodded. Let's go home. The kids are hungry. Hand in hand, we walked together toward a future that was finally free and bright.